missing after being abducted in the Philippines.
So this American man, identified as Elliot O'Neill Eastman, was reportedly kidnapped by armed gunmen.
Nadia has been kidnapped in the Philippines.
An American YouTuber has been kidnapped in the Philippines. How did this happen?
Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Passport Nomad, and today, before we get started with the content, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to support this channel and my goal to make it to 1,000 subscribers. With that said, let's get to today's content. After being kidnapped in the province of Zamboanga del Norte, 26-year-old American content creator Elliot Eastman arrived in the Philippines with a heart full of strife. His life has been filled with passion, conflict, and danger. Despite being aware of the risks, Eastman was drawn to the woman he loved and ended up in a much more complicated life than he had expected. His tale took a terrifying turn on Thursday, October 17th, when kidnapped him in the isolated seaside town of Cebuco. Eastman, a native of Vermont, USA, had been using vlogs to chronicle his life in the Philippines, discussing his relationships, challenges, and anxieties in an open setting. His videos showed a close relationship with his grandparents and tense family relations, especially with his father. His mother was noticeably missing from his tales. He had experienced heartbreak during his stay in the Philippines. He was devastated and shaken by a failed romance in Zamboanga City. In a previous interview, former Mayor Norbert Eding claimed that he had been conned. However, after converting to Islam and taking the name Muhammad, Eastman quickly found love again in Cebuco town, where he married a local woman named Carisha. About 5 months ago, Eastman appeared to have found some peace after the two were married in a traditional Sama ceremony. Eastman alluded to an increasing sense of unease in his final YouTube videos prior to his kidnapping. He acknowledged the perils of living in Zamboanga del Norte, in the southern Philippines, and acknowledged that he had trouble sleeping at night. In a September video, he stated that the location where he was can be frightening. He also mentioned getting threats, though he did not specify where they came from. On October 10th, a week prior to his kidnapping, Eastman shared a video where he showed his joy at his new life. He talked about the joy of finding his wife in the Philippines and about small pleasures like eating sardines with eggs. Beneath his optimism, however, was a mounting worry about his financial situation. He claimed to have spent a significant amount of money, roughly 130,000 pesos, on solar panels and Starlink internet equipment, and an additional 15,000 pesos to construct a sari-sari store for Carisha's family. While standing in front of the shop that overlooked the waters of Tungawan in Cebuco town, he admitted, "I'm worried because I'm investing all of my money here." 7 days later, the kidnapping occurred. 4 men showed up at Eastman's house dressed as police officers. They shot him in the leg before taking him away, according to the local police. Authorities, now days into their search, remain without clues or proof of life. As investigators piece together the circumstances surrounding Eastman's disappearance, the nature of a previous relationship continued to be a part of the investigation. There has been discussion regarding a possible link between Eastman's kidnapping and his marriage, as locals claim the woman had previously dated an indigenous Sama Cebuco man who allegedly desired her return. The head of the Philippine National Police, PNP, in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Brigadier General Romeo Juan Macapaz, stated on Monday, October 21st, that investigators were stumbling in the dark because there was no demand for ransom and no accusation of guilt. The feared Abu Sayyaf, a group of extremists with a long history of participating in the kidnapping of foreigners, was not completely ruled out by the police as a potential suspect. The Abu Sayyaf, which formerly made Basilan and Sulu its strongholds, was already a spent force, according to the government. On Monday, Basilan Governor Jim Salaman stated that military forces and local militia were on high alert, but that there was no indication that Eastman had been taken to his province by the kidnappers. Which brings us to now. After being kidnapped, the FBI has joined in on the investigation with permission from the Philippines government. No further confirmation has been made on his whereabouts, and no ransoms have been made. Apparently, there have been videos on social media stating the finding of Eastman's remains. However, it has not been officially confirmed by authorities that it is actually him.
There's a video circulating on the internet claiming to be the body of Elliot Eastman. Now, I doubt that this is Elliot Eastman, and here is why I doubt it's Elliot Eastman. So this body that is being purported to be Elliot Eastman was found in Bongo Island, Parang, Bangonido del Norte. And in that location on October 18th, there was a clash between two militant groups, Tamano Arafasi and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Those two militants clashed with each other in an armed conflict, and this right here resulted in 7 people being killed in the clash. 4 of the bodies were found at sea, 3 of the bodies were found at land from this clash. This body that is supposedly Elliot Eastman was recovered in Parang, Bangonido del Norte. Now, more than likely, this is one of the victims from that clash and not Elliot Eastman. Remember, the body's been in the sea, so if you go, oh, but look at the skin color, that has nothing to do with it. The guy's been in the water for a while, already decomposing. The other thing about it is Elliot Eastman was kidnapped in Zamboanga del Norte, and this location is far away from Zamboanga del Norte. So the greater likelihood is that it's one of the militants from this armed conflict that occurred on October 18th, which just so happens to be pretty close to the time Elliot Eastman was indeed kidnapped. But regardless, it's not Elliot Eastman. I'm sorry. I'm basically 100% positive that is not Elliot Eastman. More than likely, if Elliot Eastman is still alive, he is still in Zamboanga del Norte. The boat, yes, ran out into the Sulu Sea, but if they want to get ransom out, they probably turned around and came back to Zamboanga del Norte to be able to do some form of medical treatment with him to keep him alive, because if he's not alive, you can't collect ransom.
Still, there is no proof of life or evidence of him being unalived. If there are any further updates, it will come from the authorities of both the Philippines government, police, or FBI officials. All we can do is stay tuned, stay alert, and pray that this ends with his safe return. That's the end for this update. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.